Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Look sharp. No, you don't want.
Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome again to another edition of the Crash Course New Year's Eve party. Could you swing that camera around to face me real quick?
Face you. Wrong way, wrong way, wrong way.
I'm trying to kill that camera and it won't kill.
Right there. Yep. Oh, you were good.
Why won't that work? There it goes. All right, there we go. Had to fix that online. Oh, coming out of the block swimmingly already, as one could expect. Thank you so much for coming and being part of this. A couple people that I wanted to make mention of quick before we get going. We have a pretty unique guest here that has never been to one of these before. He's brought his wife. His name's Scott Sweet. He's sitting right over there. Wave. This guy was looking for a New Year's Eve party when I was here making a deposit at the Holiday Inn, and I met him at the front counter. And and I said, "I'll be right back." He goes, "You're joking?" And the people at the front counter are like, "No, seriously, that's the guy you need to talk to." So I just wanted to welcome those guys. They're a little bit new to Demolition Derby as a whole, but you're going to learn a lot. We're going to get into our awards here in just a few minutes. I know Jeremy Gully's going to say a few words. You'll notice it's pretty low-key over here. This is a night that we're going to get together and look back on 2017 as a successful year. We were, for the first time, able to bring you pay-per-view successfully, and we did a bunch of those. We've been to new areas. We went to Utah again. We were back in North Dakota, Ohio, Virginia, Florida, which we'd never done before, Minnesota, of course, and you guys have supported us endlessly, front to back, and for that we are eternally grateful. Tonight's going to be a night off. I'm not here selling shirts and everything like that. I just want to hang out and see everybody. I think we've worked enough for this year. On the flip side of it, 2018, we've already got stuff in the works. We're not going anywhere, but we are happy to announce that we will be back at Capital City Carnage. We will be back at Bash for Cash, and we will be back at Blizzard Bash, because some of the guests that are joining us here tonight, Tim and Russ with Smash It, Tim and Russ Clark, joining us here this evening. We greatly appreciate them making the trip out. And we've also got Jason Brodzinski from up in Michigan, with Ski Inc., who's made the trip out. So it's great to see all those guys. And we are going to be putting an effort back on doing most of our content for free on Facebook and getting away from the pay-per-view side of things. I think that's where the importance is. It gets more people exposed to what the sport of Demolition Derby is. We've always said that we want to be pro-driver. We want to get more names out there. We want to make more people household names and continue to expand the sport as a whole. If we've got the opportunity to be the tide that raises all ships, we're going to continue to do that. I know Josh has a bunch of stuff that he wants to go over. Did you want to hit on your stuff first, or are you waiting for Gully? You're waiting for Jeremy?
Yeah, so you're all done.
You just stay right there then. I didn't turn that on for you. Is that on?
No.
I forgot to turn that on.
Yeah.
I got to cut a steak later too.
Sounds like, can yell at you?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
but they won't hear you because you're not on this.
I hate it.
But I was sort of ready for Jeremy Gully to do his thing right now, and then we'll do the
We'll
award.
call him. He's right there.
Are you ready? Okay, come on.
He's not very bashful.
We're on it live right now.
Hang right onto this? All right. And talking to this. All right. So I have to write things down because I am very super forgetful. And
It's those 14 concussions you've had, Gully.
they're overrated. Concussions is a thing of the past. Okay, so my big thing is I know I got some Morris guys that run in the house. And we are going to announce something tonight that is probably one of the biggest things I've ever heard of in the Northeast. At Morris, the Spring Fling show, we are going to have a limited entry, 105 cars, compact show. We are going to pay $4,000 to first, $2,000 to second, $1,000 to third, $500 to fourth, and any car that makes it on the track for the feature is going to be paid $200. It's going to be a $100 entry. We are going to, and I want to give a big shout out to Winnie Plumbing and Heating. He has sponsored our Mad Dog. The Mad Dogs in the past in the Northeast have been a basic, simple trophy. This show is going to have a $1,000 Mad Dog.
Very impressive.
We are trying to bring things to the drivers in the Northeast. The show itself, we're going to start out in Morris. The show itself is going to be sponsored by Jeffy's Fab Farm. And what we're doing with Jeffy is anybody that pays a registration fee to a spinning wheel show this year will get a raffle ticket. At the San Filippo Smash in October, that raffle ticket could possibly win you a LS 5.3 drop-in ready setup motor from Jeffy. We've I brought these two guys on not because they're just for pretty faces, but we're actually busting our asses for you guys to get things done and bring things to the Northeast that we haven't seen. We've traveled to Utah, we've traveled a lot of places, and we see the drivers being taken care of. And that's what we're trying to do here. So for all the drivers that support my shows, you're going to get a ticket for that LS. A few things I do want to touch on real quick. Somebody's going to get a free entry into this compact show. We don't really have a name. So what I want everybody to do out on Facebook land is to jump on, and we're going to look for a name. We need a name for this show. Has to have Jeffy's Fab Farm in it. Your name gets picked, you'll get a free entry. There'll be 99 spots for sale or for pre-registration starting next Monday. And the reason there's only 99 but there's 105 cars is we're going to waffle off, as you most all have seen on Facebook, we're going to waffle off 5 spots. The reason being, somebody doesn't think they can afford the $100 entry, you'll have a chance to win your spot before you buy it. Any money that is received from those will go right directly into the pool and be paid out. The one run and dones are going to be a $40 entry. We're going to pay $500 plus $75 entry to the first place, $250 plus $25 entry, plus 25% of the entry, to second place, and then the Mad Dog and all sponsored items. One other thing I want to touch on, there's going to be 7 heats of 15 cars. We're going to take 2 out of each heat, Each heat will have a Mad Dog. The Mad Dog does not automatically get to go to the feature, but what they will win is a set of headers from Jeffy's Fab Farm. And that's on whatever Mad Dog, there'll be 7 guys that walk away from that heat with free headers. Or no, the heats. Each heat. No, each heat. Each heat. I promise you, I know. Each heat. Be 7 winners walk away with a free set of headers from Jeffy's Fab Farm. Jeffy's out of Virginia now, was from Canada, and he got smart and moved to the United States. But that's just... And we're working real close with Jeffy. As you notice, there's a lot of things he's bringing to the table, and a lot of things we're bringing to the table and trying to bring to you drivers. So come on out, support us in Morris, June 16th. It is Father's Day weekend. There's no better thing to do than spend time with your kids and your family on Father's Day. We're going to run the full gauntlet of classes, the economy V8, the full-size trucks, the compact trucks, and of course our compact, whatever you want to call it. We haven't got a name for it. So once we figure that out, we'll let you know. Keep track of the Spinning Wheels Facebook site, and of course Northeast Demolition Derby. Everything will be shared across there as well. Thanks for your support, for everything. I don't need these anymore, do I?
No, you're good, bud.
Okay. You got one thing? Okay. Now's the fun part. We've had the opportunity to go all over the place this year, and we've seen a ton of drivers. A ton of drivers do some pretty impressive things. Every year we do those year-end awards. This year we're covering a wide range of states, a wide range of shows. It's been pretty difficult. I know I asked a lot of people for some additional input that have traveled with us to help us out. The first one that we're going to be giving out is the Hard Luck Award. It's a very difficult award because so many of the people that we know end up having bad luck, horrible luck. But one guy really stood out above all of them after he had a transmission go away at Bash for Cash and then had fuel pickup issues throughout Blizzard Bash, and finally got it fixed for the feature, but had some problems. That Hard Luck Award, who's not here tonight, goes to Jason Koch in the full-size division.
Oh, yeah.
And on the compact side of things, I don't even know if the guy who won this remembers it happening because he finished the year with about 16 concussions through the course of the year and took a nap in his car. At one of the spinning wheel shows, if I remember correctly, from New York, Hard Luck Award in the compacts, Randy McCraby. Ooh, I know he's here someplace.
Taking a nap.
How fitting.
Another unplanned
How
nap.
fitting. Most improved was a tough one because we saw a lot of guys from our area move up into much deeper water and much more difficult competition, both from their county fairs to running regional shows and running their regional shows up into some pretty serious waters like Bash for Cash, the national shows, things along those lines, Blizzard Bash. A couple of the guys here locally on the compact side, we had some extended argument on who was going to win this most improved award, and we ended up settling on it being a tie. Both David LeJewitt and Kyle Hunter coming away with most improved awards. You bet. Make sure that's yours. Kyle's. There it is. That must be yours. There you go, Kyle. Nice job. There you go. And I don't see the. There it is. Full size. And then on the full size side of things, we could probably recognize this entire team, given what they did at Blizzard Bash. But there was one guy that stood out to us because he had never seen what Blizzard Bash was like and went out there and fit right in perfectly. Most improved in the full size division, Brian Bryington. And he's here someplace as well.
Walking in the door?
Could be. Congratulations.
Most
full size,
improved.
most improved. You bet. Okay, so hard luck, nobody claimed. Happens. And next is a newcomer, somebody that we hadn't seen before, that really made a splash on the scene. Again, this was a very, very difficult one. There was a bunch of names that were kicked around out in Utah. There were some more names up in North Dakota that had made the final cut. But ultimately, when it came down to it, in the compact division, on the heels of winning like 4 derbies, Robbie Hansen in the compact division. He's from down in Pennsylvania. And on the full-size side of things, this guy kind of came out of nowhere at Blizzard Bash, and he wasn't even initially part of the crazy Iowans team, but boy, did he leave some marks. Jerry Lyerly in the orange and blue cars wins full-size top newcomer. In the another one of the awards that we give is called the Newsmaker Award. It's sort of just a really prevailing storyline that was compelling through the course of the whole derby. We get a lot of those because that's sort of our job, is to find compelling storylines. But one that really stood out to us was Clay Stewart. We were out in Utah. He got a car basically for free, and built it. And his mom was suffering pretty bad from with some health complications. And he came out in this car that he never built a new style Ford before quite the way that he did with this, and he ended up winning the Derby. It was an outstanding weekend for him. I know it meant a lot to him to do that. So the Newsmaker Award for 2017, Clay Stewart from Utah. These awards are supposed to stay in New York because of all the drivers that we see. They really want these two awards, the Showman Award. This is somebody who goes for broke. They're not out there to win the Derby in any way, shape, or form, and if they do, it's probably by accident. They're more there simply to put on a show for the fans, and if their car lasts 2 hits, so be it. Just at San Filippo alone, we had a list of names to try and pick and choose from. It was very difficult this year. And then we went to Blizzard Bash, and they outdid themselves as well. We were out in Utah. There was a long list of drivers, and for the first time, the Showman Award and the Compacts is going to a Utah driver, Danny Ogden, for his efforts through the course of the year in the Compact division. He really championed that division as a whole out there in Utah. They didn't have a Compact division really before this year, and he was sending that little car end to end, flipping cars over, and when we saw him afterwards, his eyes were swimming in his head, but he certainly had a good time doing it. And then on the full-size side of things, everybody remembers the drive that Steve Siopa had. He had 15 cars on him, and with that wagon, Steve Siopa will be recognized from Pennsylvania as the 2017 Full-Size Showman of the Year. Another one of the just one-off awards that we do is called the Dedication Award. It's just Dedication Demolition Derby. Jeremy Gully's won that before. This is somebody who is devoted to the hobby of Demolition Derby, devoted to the sport, but always has something else going, whether it's a fundraiser, whether he's recognizing a cause or something along those lines. Obviously, Jeremy sort of set the bar very high last year, and we had a couple people recommend drivers for this award, and that is actually where the winner ended up coming from. Alan McNeil is recognized as this year's Dedication to Derby Award winner. He's always running for Team Angela. Anytime he wins any money, any trophies, that stuff's all dedicated back to charitable causes and stuff. So Alan McNeil, very deserving of the Dedication Award. And I know he's here. I saw him earlier. The Made Junk Got Famous Award originated when we were doing in-car cameras. We had the opportunity to do in-car cameras for what I believe was one of the first times live in Demolition Derby. We were out in Utah earlier this year. But that would mean that it has to go home with one person, and we sort of expanded that as we got away from doing DVDs to somebody we hadn't heard of that had absolutely annihilated their car and was just limping around and really became a focal point of our conversation both on the air and off it. And I don't think that there was any argument over this one when we decided on Josh Adam from a Blizzard Bash. He ripped the entire frame rail off the left front corner behind the control arm and continued to try and drive the car. They did some interviews with him. The production crew with Derby Nation caught up with him and got some close-ups of the car. It was absolutely destroyed. I don't remember where Josh is from, but very well deserving of the Made Junk Got Famous Award this year.
Absolutely.
We've got 3 left. Like I said, we're going to run through this quick, and then the doors are going to fly open, and everybody's going to get to leave the room, go get food, and come back, and we'll kick this thing off. The Driver of the Year. Driver of the Year awards aren't always as hard to pick as it might seem, because it always seems like somebody gets on a streak. Dustin Ingram's won this award before. On the compact side of things, we've been in touch with this driver for a long time, and he had an absolutely phenomenal year. He ended up finishing with 9 wins. He got 3 wins in one weekend with the same car. He had the chance to drive with his wife and with his daughter. And his worst finish of the year was 3rd in 12 starts. So Leon Rumsey, I feel like, was a slam dunk for Driver of the Year in the compact division. He's watching at home right now, and he didn't know that he was getting this, so congratulations, Leon.
Way to go.
On the full-size side of things, Driver of the Year, again, it was a little bit of the streakiness is what carried that. Picking up a win at Bash for Cash and then turning around and backing that up with a win in Tennessee, getting out of town, made it very easy to pick Tom Henderson for this year's Driver of the Year. He'll come and get this later. And our last one is the Hit of the Year award. The Hit of the Year is the first one that was ever given, was won by Rick Engelhart, and means a lot to give this to somebody every year. Sean Gokenauer's won it before, and for the first time is going to Iowa. After all the hits that we saw, Colton Newhofen almost became the first person to win twice. He blew the back out of a Cadillac in the stock division at Winter Slam, and his efforts did not go unrecognized. But when Lane Frericks hit Nathan Gill and almost flipped over 2 skid steers at the same time at Blizzard Bash, it pretty much locked it up for him. So Lane Frericks of the Crazy Iowans is going to go home with the Hit of the Year award. Well, we're doing okay on time. Looks like everybody's here. I got to thank my lovely wife, Melissa. I've been away from home more this year than any other Derby season that we've done, and she's always there to back us up and jumped in to help check everybody in as we welcomed over 100 of our best friends to this another New Year's Eve party. We're going to be getting dinner served here pretty quick. Open bar goes from 8 to midnight. There are still tickets available for the Cadillac, which is outside, so you guys can jump in on that. It's $20 a shot. It's 50 for 3 or 100 for 10. Everybody watching at home, you can jump on that raffle. You don't have to be present to win. You also have the option, if you don't want the Cadillac, you can take $1,500 cash too. That's also out there. Did you guys have anything else?
Yeah.
You gonna wear your headset so they can hear you online?
You're not supposed to talk to him that way, remember?
I know.
Yes,
There he
boss.
goes. Now he's on. Perfect.
Okay. Cool. Can we hear me? Cool. Okay, so every year I kind of say the same thing, right? I get up at that here, but we kind of went a little step farther this year. I got 2 things I want to touch on. A couple things actually. One is, if you're in this room right now, I say this every year, but I really truly mean this. You are family to me. Like you guys are like, I love you all. Okay, and Crash Course, we love you guys all, because without you guys supporting us we're on 5 years now. And at the beginning, we just wanted 10 people to listen. I remember the first one, Chris was like, we got 44 listeners. We thought we killed it. You know, I'm like, so you guys just kept us going, and that means so much to us, because we got to see the sickest stuff. We got to be part of the Demolition Derby world in the entire country. And that's one of the big reasons that Gully, Buell, and I have kind of teamed up, is I've got to see some of the coolest stuff. And I've got to see in the different parts of the country, Demolition Derby is looked at differently. And I want to bring that, and our whole group wants to bring it this way, to the Northeast. And that's why we're pushing for these big money shows. We're pushing fairs harder. We're going to step up things to the next level. And the guys that actually got me thinking to this and to this next level are right here. And you didn't know I was going to say this, but this comes from my heart. This is Tim and Russ Clark. Smash it. When I went to Ohio the first time ever, I didn't understand why the guys in Ohio, these guys put on 46 shows that year. Their drivers, they don't go all over the country a lot. They stick right there and they run week after week after week after week for these guys. And when you ask them why, they love these guys. I love my promoter. My promoter takes care of me. That was so foreign to me. The first time I was like, what? These guys have their backs? The drivers felt like these guys had their backs, man. And I want you guys to know that I learned it from these guys. I did. And we are going to bring it to this area. We got your guys' back. And we're going to prove it to you just by having our back. You have our back, we got your back. Same thing with Sherman's group. Road Rage is trying to do the exact same thing. We get kind of sick of getting kind of trampled on around here, and we're going to change it. So please, I love the support. Keep having our support, and we love you guys for that. Yeah. And that's from our heart. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring what you guys get to see. I mean, you see what Chris brings us when we are out in all these places. It's like, man, that derby look badass. Well, why can't we have it here? We can. We just, a couple of us got to get off our ass and bring it, and we're going to do that. Another quick thing. Jason Brodzinski's here of Ski Inc., right? This guy, right here, he's standing up. Raise your hand. Yeah, I know. Listen, tonight, this guy is super great guy. One of the biggest vendors in the country, not to mention one of the best drivers in the country. Take a few minutes and talk to this guy, and when he's talking, just listen. Because he's super smart, and I don't know if there's not one thing derby-wise this guy does not know. So take a few minutes tonight, and don't let him buy a drink. If you see him going to buy a drink, somebody jump in. Tyson's, you're on that.
It's open bar, bud.
Okay, after open bar. After open bar. Okay, last thing. Chris does a lot of stuff for us. You know, Chris doesn't. What are you doing? Nah, they're all right. Yeah, just mute it. I've been close to this guy for 5-6 years now. Nobody knows the amount of work that this guy puts into Demolition Derby. It's crazy. And I think I'm like constantly Demolition Derby. I am nonstop. I don't stop thinking about it, caring about it, all that. This guy trumps me. And he puts on things like this. Sometimes we say, hey, great job, Chris, good job. But we want to kind of go to the next step. La Jouette, Kool-Aid, whatever you want to call him, had a great idea. He hit me up and he said, we got to give something to Chris. And boom, he popped this out really fast. But we want to give this to Chris, and he's got to hang on his wall at his house. But this is for the most dedicated. And I don't think there is any doubt that there's any man in the sport right now that is more dedicated than this man right here. So if we're going to give the loudest round of applause, can we do it right now for this man right now that deserves it? Yeah. I love you, buddy.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Josh kind of stole my thunder, but I'm used to that. So, the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to thank Chris Marquardt, because 5 years ago he sent me a text and he said, "Do you want to do a podcast about Demolition Derby?" And I said, "Sure. What exactly is a podcast?" And that's the God's honest truth. And you know, he's took us. I mean, I've known Chris forever, literally. He used to do the motorsports section for the local paper. And well, sort of, and so I knew him from there. He'd come to the races, and sorry, Josh Buell, but he knew me from demoing at Waterloo, and he would come talk to me at the races, and you know, we formed a pretty good friendship, and it's, you know, been that way for gotta be close to 20 years.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but you're way older than me.
I am way older than Chris, and people just don't understand, like Josh says, they don't understand the time and the energy and everything else that Chris puts into the sport. Headaches. 3 years ago at Blizzard Bash, they were getting ready to go on for the pay-per-view, and they couldn't do it. And they had their whole staff running around trying to fix it. And Chris sat there across the stadium and said, "This is what we need to do, and we can send it out for ourselves for free." We didn't end up doing that, but Chris did fix their problem. And he doesn't get enough. And he's hating that we're doing this, but he doesn't get enough recognition.
You're right.
And I just want everybody to know, if you take anything away from this tonight, like Josh said, there's nobody that's more dedicated to the sport than Chris Marquardt. And I absolutely am, you know, so happy and so, you know, that you've taken me to where you've taken me. It's just been amazing. You know, I can't even put into words what it's like. This honored, good word. Thanks, Dan. I haven't even drinking yet. The second thing I wanted to do, I've touched a few times on our show. I feel like the Demolition Derby community is more tight-knit than anybody else. I really, truly feel that. When there's something bad happens, we really come together and help each other out. Jeremy and his wife Jody, we all know with Martin, San Filippo, it's touched it. 2 years ago, they had their first San Filippo Smash. This year, they had another one. Great success both times. Since then, as everybody knows about, there's been a waffle on Facebook, and now it is across the nation. And though it pains me to do it, Mr. Josh Buell over here and Miss Christy Germain, I don't mind saying about Christy, but Josh is just a miserable. No, I'm just kidding. Josh and Christy have done so much for this, and are doing such a great job. The second biggest round of applause, I think, for the night should go to these two for what they're doing to help the gullies and all the other kids affected by San Filippo. So we just get a round of applause for them.
You got anything? You gonna wrap it?
Chris, you want to end it, or can I say it's time to eat and drink?
You can say it.
Yes, sir. Okay.
5 rolls of 9 wire, 500 pounds.
Okay.
Okay. 5 rolls, 500 pounds of 9 wire, $20 a chance if you're here.
Spinning wheels will buy any that's not sold. If we win it, we're going to give it out next show.
Cool. Anything not bought will be bought by Spinning Wheels. If not, $20 a shot. Online, you don't have to be here to win, obviously. So, crazy. All right, guys, enjoy the night. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Spin that camera around. Spin that camera around the face out there. So, Josh,
I'm listening. Yeah.
well, thank you. Appreciate that a lot. That's most kind. I apologize for all the rustling and everything. Using the headsets, it doesn't work the best because it doesn't fit Brian's gigantic head. So it's a lot of t-shirt, dress shirt. It's even buttoned down. But ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you so much for all the support that we've got week after week. We're into our 5th year. We've brought you Derby Inc. magazine, and we've brought you Reckless Abandoned Apparel, someplace where people in the Northeast can rely on, homespun articles. They've got we do artwork and everything, trying to tend to the needs of the Northeast and give somebody here close to home. And when I speak in the we, I mean it in the we, because I couldn't do it with all the support that we've got around us, both within the Crash Course team and at large as a whole, from all the folks that are watching at home. So with
Thank
that,
you, sir.
I wish you all a very happy New Year.
Sure.
That's a good look at what the room is like here. Hopefully you can come back here, try it again. We got to give away a Cadillac. We got to give away some cars. That is going to do it for us from the Chancellor
Why do
Ball.
you always go so fast?
Because I'm trying to get off, because we've got to get everything cleaned up so that we can go to dinner.
Oh,
What do you got?
You're running time?
I'm running time. Go ahead. What was your thought?
They'll have to wait till next time.
What?
No.
What, next time you come to the podcast, never?
That's me.
Ooh, wow.
I'm here right now.
I know,
I'm
I can't-
On live.
I know, I
I'm on
can't-
when the live ones are.
I can't believe it.
You do deserve that award. I know you get, and every year I say congratulations and we all clap to you, but I never get you an award. And just so you know, Dave hit me up 3 days ago and he said we have to give him something.
You gave me the Lifetime Achievement Award from Badass Trophies that still sits in my living room.
The
microphone.
That one is sick.
That
I
was
told
cool.
him, I go, you're never going to beat that. But
It's awesome.
you
But this
deserve all
is
of that,
cool.
man.
I like the Crash Course logo right there on it. That's awesome.
That was cool, right?
Very
It's
cool.
cool.
Very cool.
And you are the most dedicated. I don't think anyone can even. There's not even someone second place.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you deserve it, man. And we thank you for getting us here. And half of these people I did not know 5 years ago. Honestly, if you look in this room, probably more than half of these people we
way
didn't
more
know
than
5
half.
years ago. It's new friendships and stuff. It's cool, man.
And we got a heck of a party to get to now.
I can't wait. I hydrated.
Yes.
Hydrated?
Yeah.
Can I drink it today, Josh?
Yes, I do.
Rum and Cokes for days.
Yes, I do.
Well, for everybody with
Keep
Crash
up with
Course,
this, Marquardt?
I'm going to try.
for everybody with Crash Course, for everybody close to us that we've worked with, all the promoters that we're going to work with years past and years to come, we thank you for all the continued support. That is going to do it for our segment of live action from here at Crash Course New Year's. From here on out, if you want to see it, you're going to have to get here. Thanks a lot, and we'll see everybody next time.
The Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandoned Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.